G'day everyone. Proud to say Bar Karate is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners. Welcome to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors. But of course, I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. First off, Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, Exalted One.
How are you, bud?
Yeah, g'day all. You know how for sort of non-sailors, Christmas comes around and it goes, oh, it's that time of year again?
Right, yep.
For us, it's the Hobart, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah,
Christmas
I don't even think about Christmas.
Christmas is just one of those things on the side that gets in the way of this time of year for us.
And you get some
presents. Yeah, well, presents is important, but it is that time of year. It's getting close. It's within the 2-week range.
Yeah.
The timer is on.
I love it.
Jay's got the weather forecasting happening, which means fuck all to anyone.
Oh, you're so right, BP. Like, I mean, everyone focuses on December 25. I don't even think about December 25. Totally focused in on December 26.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Loving it.
And all the other people going off to regattas around Australia as well. So it's that time of year.
There is that.
Let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Boyce.
Gents, back on the home deck again.
Yep.
Having been in NZ, bro.
Choice.
Cuzzy.
So just getting into the fever over there. And it is maximum fever this time of year. Whether it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're walking the bars of the Viaduct Harbour in Auckland, or whether you're walking the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. Geez, maximum fever.
It is.
So, yeah, everyone getting prepared to
that time of year
go south, and us, of course, viciously, madly planning our live feeds.
Madly planning
the live shows for the.
I've missed the planning meetings. What's been going on?
Didn't you get that? Oh, no, that's the planning department.
You didn't even get the email to the show. Where's the link?
Actually, we should do the stream just while we're having a play. We should do the stream onto. I think you can live stream just onto YouTube rather than just limit it to Facebook.
So what we've done the last couple of years.
No, but we did that on Facebook. We've been doing it on Facebook. I think.
Oh, do it on YouTube as well. Yeah, good call.
I think that's better for people.
We'll speak to the fourth leg, Harry Fisher. He'll be able to sort us out with that stuff.
Once again, our organisational abilities have come to the fore. We'll do it in the intro to the episode.
I might be doing it from the front seat of the Defender at certain times.
There we go.
Oh, I thought it was on its side, mate.
Travelling across the countryside, like the Leyland brothers.
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks, Mike. Cool. Yeah, no, plenty happening. So it's a busy week, so we might jump into our show because we've got a fantastic guest, a bloke everyone loves. I was just going to say we love, but everyone seems to love. So we have had him on the show before, episode 76, and then we realised that wasn't enough because we weren't even halfway through the banter, and so we had him episode 82 from memory. He is the skipper, he's the sailing master of Law Connect. And, of course, huge resume in sailing results, which you can have a look. But as we get close to the Hobart, only a few days away, we thought it best that we get our friend. And we did promise last week that we'll get someone from Law Connect, so we went straight to the top. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Tony Mutter.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Like our annual catch-up, Tone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like our own little Christmas show.
Yeah, awesome.
It's all getting a bit normal, isn't it?
Yeah. Funny time of year.
Is it a funny time of year or is it an intense time of year?
Both, really. Yeah, it's quite good when, or for me anyway, coming across from New Zealand to Aussie, it's like my home away from home. And then so you sort of catch up with a lot of people that you don't ordinarily see or haven't seen for a year. And then, but you've also got Christmas all wrapped into it with family and everything. So it's a little bit, and with the racing. So it's a mixture of everything.
It's interesting, mate. Talking about lots of friends and stuff. We had you on, as I said, we'd said at the start, we'd had you on the show a couple of episodes. you are a fan favourite, like, and everywhere you go, people seem to like you. So, is it you just ooze charm, or why do people like you so much?
It's good looks, of course, which is so appropriate with a podcast as well.
Yeah. There's probably people who don't.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. You can't be all good.
You just haven't met them yet.
They're well hidden, Tones. They're well hidden.
Yeah.
Oh.
They haven't found the bodies yet.
Big boat race. It was just a glamour outing, wasn't it? Like, great tactics. The crew work looked good. Boat was going. What is it? Is it as smooth as it looked?
It didn't feel that smooth to start off with, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes to make that day happen. And I got to say, for my part, it's I'm basically in the media world from the get-go in the morning. I was talking to Peter, I think it was Peter Shipway and Gordon there at the yacht club, and had to go for interviews there, and also on the our Leap or Law Connect power boat had guests out. So we had a bunch of our crew were over there, and and so by the time we got to the boat, we didn't do mainsail up till 11:30. An hour. Basically an hour. I think it was a little bit an hour. Actually, mainsail up was a little bit later than that, about 11:50. So it was only an hour before kick-off. But the big one for me was, once you get on board, is just try and settle everyone down and try and get everyone to refocus. And when I'm talking to the crew, I was talking to myself at the same time. Hey, you guys, well, that's all over now. We just got to focus and get going. Just think of the things we have to do, and think of them before they have to happen, and get on with it. And they did in every way. Yeah.
We mentioned a second ago, it's all getting a bit normal. How's the crew? Is it sort of fairly stable in terms of people on board?
Yeah, so we're running. We have Ty Oxley, who's our boat captain, obviously, and also Nico, Chris Nicholson, a legend of Australian sailing, and frankly, I've always said it, I much prefer racing with him on the same yacht than against him. It just makes life easier.
A lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Way easier. So that's an easy tick with having those guys there. And then plus I've got the 3 young Aussie guys that are been with us for 4 years, I think now. And that's Lucas Chapman, Charlie Wyatt, and Alex Goff. And those are magical, and they've come on in a big way in the terms of sailing the boat. Because 2 out of the 3 of them have Volvo experience. Charlie's also, comes from a little bit slightly different. He's more of an 18-footer guy. And man, I tap into his big brain about Sydney Harbour all the time. There's all the little nuances of different breeze and currents around all the headlands and that. And I'm still learning it, but he knows it. So as does Nico. So it's good to know.
Yeah. Old Lucas Chapman, the most positive guy in the world, I reckon. He's just he'd be great to have on a boat, I reckon. But yeah, and Goffy, those boys they're glamour guys to have on your boat. Yeah,
so they're on in the like pre-starts and like any manoeuvres and that, they're in the trimming role. But they also, I cannot stress how good those guys and Charlie are at driving as well. When, Bice, you probably remember from the Volvo days when you have to, you have guys steering, you change a watch and you need to keep the same mode going.
Consistency,
Yeah. So we pride ourselves on consistency. We're and we have it without trying, which is unusual. Because normally you have to look at the numbers and you go down below and you come up on deck and you say, okay, guys, last 2 hours we hit this true wind angle average with this apparent average, blah, 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 go to it. And we don't actually have to do that. So between Nico and myself and Brad, 1 or 2 of us are up at any one period, and we sort of just keep it going on deck. And the guys are so good that they've already seen all the numbers, have been looking at it. So when they roll into the steering role, it's just like we haven't left. Yeah, so we're ultra consistent, and on the performance side.
You can definitely see that on the racetrack. I mean, Cabbage Tree was probably a little bit hard to compare to because it was unusual conditions, but always there, right? You're always there, consistent, always performing. So you've got to be pretty happy with that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, like we were doing our thing. We thought we were going to be on the back foot, but as it turned out, the wind actually, luckily for us, it went light, a little bit lighter than what we thought was going to happen. So we'd blown up that sail, and which put us below range of it anyway until the very end. And we're on our normal configuration for that wind speed, and we're kind of surprised at the other guys what they were doing and how they were sailing. And so, we were pleasantly surprised within the first 10 minutes of leaving the heads. We were starting to reel them in pretty quickly. So it was happy days. And then we just, it was actually really sailing the boat really similar to a Volvo 65 when we raced the boats around the world with the masthead zero, triple head, downwind, and we just went straight into that mode. And that's, I think that's where our experience is good. It was like, I basically said to them, we're at Volvo 65 till Cabbage Tree. That's what we did. Hit the sweet spot and off we went.
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons come from saying those things. You obviously racing those things one design against each other around the world. You work everything out. So
plus learning to stand up when you're heeled over.
Yeah, no, there's nothing that heals over more than those things.
So you got it worked out. It's interesting. So we go into this Hobart. Obviously, the Maxi Battle reigned supreme for the media, and you're right in the midst of that. What's the feelings on the opposition, or should we talk? Maybe we'll talk what we see on the weather first, so we can throw a few hypotheticals out there. Have you? Because I've been looking at the weather, obviously, and my current view is we could have. The only thing I'm confident about is we'll likely get a bit of a sou'easter near the start, but you could go to Hobart and be in a massive hole and be sitting there for 3 days, or you could be heading into some nuking winds, or you could be running,
like
you could
pretty
be
all round weather.
It could be anything.
So what are you saying there, Jordan? It could be anything.
Could be anything. It's really, really strange little weather system setting up.
You're just going to get some weather.
Yeah, we'll get weather. Yeah, there's going to be weather.
Yeah, it's going to be weather. I don't think it's going to be weather like last year. No. That's for sure. That was a dream ride. After that year, I keep telling everyone the Hobart race is one of the great downwind races of the world. But
time to retire, Tones.
Yeah, after that one, wow, it was. I mean, there was no way. I don't think we saw a wave bigger than a metre. It was ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So what actually, speaking of that, if you were to have your dream weather, what's best for you guys?
Oh, we need Solas Big Boat day upwind, 18 knots on the nose the whole way into that water. Yeah. Fair
chance.
Perfect Hobart.
Well, we had downwind and basically mixture last time, so maybe you never know. He might upwind the whole way.
Yeah.
Or actually after Cabbage Tree, maybe we want some light air downwind.
There you go.
Who knows? Maybe the big heavy boat's got a new mode with,
found a little mode there, you reckon?
Yeah, got a little bit of special performance bump right there.
What about while we're starting on the old Law Connect? What modifications do you do? We know you've put the world's longest bowsprit on the thing, so 42-metre bowsprit.
The J24 on the bow.
Yeah, that thing worries me every time I'm sailing in Sydney Harbour with it swinging around. I don't know if you remember the start from last year. We were pretty close a few times and within a metre or less. So, it makes it harder, the bowsprit. But this year we haven't done much, actually. What we have done has been refining everything, and we didn't have a big budget for this year. So what we did do was pull everything apart. We were due our keel inspection, which is very important, and that passed that. So that's a full keel off, NDT test and with an engineer and sign off. We go above and beyond what required. I think you're actually only required a visual and a signature.
A bit of a shake, just kick the bulb. She's going nowhere.
Yeah, bulb, if it looks a bit dodgy, you're not going to move it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we go the extra mile for that, and that's for our own peace of mind as well. We do that every 2 years. Had the rig out, all the rigging checks, blah, 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 winches off, repairs. So we've been going through that, but we've also been going through a steady removal. Like as these boats get older, you've probably seen this too, Boss, as they get older, people just keep adding stuff to them. So the boat's 15 years old, and I swear every year someone added another 2 pad eyes on it. So in the last 2 years, we've removed like 25 pad eyes off it. And they're not small; they're quite big with all the.
Oh yeah, the big double pad eye, exactly.
It was
good solid M20 fittings.
Yeah, you can lift the boat with those. Well, maybe not that. You could, if they were back on, you probably could afterwards. So we've got the down to a very trim. I think it's 34,150 weight now, 34.15 tons down from, I think originally a couple of years ago, I think we're racing it at I think it was 35.6 or 7 or something.
Wow.
Quite
right. Wow. Shit, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, plus
that's a lot of pad eyes.
Yeah.
Well, we did the interior trim last year as well. But if you go through with just removing stuff in that mindset on a 100-foot yacht, mate, there's just crap everywhere.
Yeah,
and we just went to town on it basically. Yeah,
love it.
Where's from a weight point of view? Where's that put the boat compared to the competitors?
Comanche's about 32, I think. And now I don't know with Scallywaggers. I'm guessing they're 27 or something like that, 28. But they're a different boat anyway. They're only 6 meters wide, I think. Pretty narrow. So a whole lot less hull and there's a whole lot less going on load wise on that. As soon as you come to
and then we've got Warrow.
Yeah, the boat in 80-100.
80-100.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I reckon I firstly have to say congratulations to those guys.
Yeah,
I've been following it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. We are too. We had him on a few weeks ago.
People love him.
Yeah. Warrow showed me. I think we'd had a few beers and us up at Hamilton Island last year. It might have been the year before actually. And he showed me the drawings of it. It actually looked really good.
Oh yeah.
So I think the hull. What it wasn't good. So someone had to try something.
Right.
And
Warrow's the man for that.
Mate, he's taken it on, and his crew have done an awesome job. It's got the best paint job of any yacht in the world. Did you see that thing? It was with a
looking beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our 3-year-old rapture shame, I can tell you that.
I was looking at that the other day, I must admit.
Yeah, there's little shark bites out of it. We normally got a little bit peeled up, and the guys just go around and just take a little cut out. And then we wait till I think it's next week when we finish sailing, and then just before it goes, we
put a little patch on.
Yeah, exactly. We've been doing that for 3 years, so yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so it is going to be interesting if I think Warrow needs pretty solid breeze, just because he's got that slightly shorter rig, so he'll be prone for pretty strong conditions. So you'll all be, there'll be plenty of interest from the start to see how it all unfolds. As you said, 18 knots upwind in dead flat water, so we're going to Port Vincent rather than to Hobart. It's probably the best play. You wouldn't know Port Vincent, I don't know, Tone. But
where's that? That's that on the coast, right?
It's on. I ramble on it about it all the time. It's on the west coast of the Gulf of where Adelaide is. Yeah, so it's
when you do the Adelaide to Port Lincoln, it's sort of near there. On the way through, you go past it a little bit.
If we end up there on the Hobart race, I'll be firing the navigator.
Yeah, I think you would be.
There is a bit of a word
nice
out.
If
you do get close to Adelaide, I'll cook you a brisket.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a lure there.
Okay. I'll probably be able to smell it from the bay there, will
I? Hey, one of the other things is, the whole, you're the skipper of somebody's boat, and you've got a pretty passionate sailing family behind you there with the Becks. I mean, I can't even imagine how you work that relationship, but and how it all plays. And I know it must be. I assume it's pretty cool having a family like the Becks being the owner of the boat.
Yeah. So I mean, firstly, I'm not the skipper. I'm the sailing master.
Oh, sorry.
It's a term coined. I think Joe Akasich gave that one to me years ago, and I've sort of kept that. So I'm the Christian is the skipper.
Yep.
I'm the skipper when he's not there. So which was Cabbage Tree, I guess. Which is no. Well, the family. I mean, they have been really great. I mean, Christian puts an awful amount of trust in us and what we do. With looking after the 100-footer. So I mean, I run the budget for that and the little boats as well. So he has MCs. And between Christian and Rachel, who's just had a baby, wonderful new family starting. She's actually a really good helmsman as well. So she's been racing the MC38s and raced up with us twice. And as well, so she's big into it. And then of course you got the son, Indy, who I think he just got second in the MC38 Nationals, and he's having taken it on not that long ago, he's getting stronger and stronger. I mean, he'll be the guy steering the boat as soon as he's old enough, and so that's only a couple of years away. I think he's got to be 18. So that they're starting to get into it, and then unfortunately for Christian, he doesn't have enough time to sort of spend on it.
Yeah.
And so he does a little bit of the MC stuff, and then pretty much just leaves us alone with the big boat. It is a little bit different to a lot of family dynasties with the boats, where I think he has to have a return on investment. So we run the 100-footer has to have a return on investment, and so it has to provide a return to in terms of exposure to his companies, or whichever one of his companies that's sponsoring it. And that's where we're different, and our budgets are different. Like we're running on I think Christian said himself, the 1.6 this year. I'd like that last couple of 100,000 would be good.
Yeah.
So we're some number under that. Actually, no, we actually have hit that this year because where did we get the new A2? So we are there. But our budget is really small, but our sailing, the amount of sailing we do is actually really small too, because the cost of these things is just ridiculous.
I'm guessing the minute you go through that boom gate down at Woolwich, just the cash register opens up and just keeps chinging away until you leave, till the boat gets back in like the end of December after the race.
Yeah, pretty much. We blow most of our budget in the month of November, December. Yep. It's put the thing back in Woolwich with its tail between its legs and leave it till March when the new budget kicks off. So that's where we're at. But that's how.
Sounds like a Barkarati budget.
Yep. Yeah.
I got to say though, after the big boat race, you must have just said, Christian, return on investment's looking pretty fine. Can we renegotiate next year's budget up at all? Like you would have got some great return for him.
He was very, very happy, and I think we had 38. We had some marketing exposure numbers, and we had like 38 million people had seen or been exposed to what we had with what we did today. So
that's a fair number. Yeah. That's right up there with Barkarati.
I was just going to say, you can bump that up to 45 after this episode goes to...
No stress, no stress.
Yeah, 38 million and 45.
And the other one is we generate a big number as well on the 26th. So by the end of the tally cup, I think that's live. There's some massive number. I can't repeat it, but it's massive. Like it's ridiculous amount of return on investment. So
do you add
the start of the race is a tradition around the world. I mean, there's so many people who get up and watch it,
Yeah,
pretty important hour and a half of footage. Sorry, mate. Go on.
I was just going to ask if Tony Mutter's personal following's added into into all that.
Tone's Instagram.
No, I think I am on Instagram. I don't think I've ever used it. I think I got asked to start an Instagram thing. I think in the last Volvo they wanted me to do some grams from the boat, from the bunk,
Let's just have a look here. Just hang on a sec. I'm just searching.
Yeah.
Okay. 38 million 45 is our edition. You're 3.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's my wife and my daughter.
Yeah, well, it's like our listeners. It's just our mums.
Speaking of, from the media perspective, like you guys have been kind of leading what you do as far as onboard reporter type setups. What's the program this year?
We're more of the same, except with better tech. So we're doing the full live feed, which is it's really important for us, and we get from within the companies and worldwide. I think it's we're definitely pioneers at doing that. We've changed. How's this? Last year we invested $80,000 in this high tech satellite thing, which is completely useless this year.
Exactly.
Unfold it and throw it away. It's
unbelievable, isn't it?
worth nothing. So you go to Starlink, so we're 5 or 8 times faster comms. So we're trying. We're actually even last year it wasn't too bad. We were able to do live feeds, video feeds from Bass Strait. So we're able to do that the whole time now, and we'll be doing that. So we have the 4 guests from Law Connect who are really great people. They're coming along.
Saw them announced only this week, right? The guests.
Yeah. Yep. They're great. They're straight. It's interesting. Actually, there's a lot of parallels between our crew and Christian's companies in the terms of the people. It's always worked out really well. They're actually really similar. Highly motivated, fun people who are just there for, they're like quite professional. It's an interesting dynamic to seeing how similar it is. I was our fear has always been given for, guests that, as you probably remember this, Bicey, years ago when you have some people come on board and you just want to throw them over the side.
The MHs, I think we referred to them.
Yeah.
Very organised.
But these, like every year we've been doing this, it's been incredible. Like just amazing people. So we're really how that works. Yeah.
The old adage, just surround yourself with successful people, and success comes. Right. That's sort of how it rolls. Like,
it's a typical a bad business manager is someone who surrounds himself with idiots to make them look good, or you can do the opposite. Surround yourself with great people, and you probably look right as well.
You've got to be careful here, mate. You're stepping on our business model because there's me and 2 idiots, so.
I'm not sure about how you guys operate.
Just ask Jordan.
All right.
Oh, dear. Go on. So where were we? BP, I think you were going?
No. I think Bicey was in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rightio, Tone. Talking about the race now.
Yep.
What watch systems are you guys running on board, and from a performance point of view, has that just been refined over the years, or you've got a pretty good system in place?
Look, it's a go-to. I call it the go-to. It's 4 on, 4 off, 4 watches. So it's very
changing every 2 hours or something.
Yep, change every 2 hours. It's the least upsetting. Like you can't. Sometimes people run one whole crew. You have 2 watches and you change every 4 hours. That's a lot of people. That's 11 people changing. On our got 22 crew. 21 actually this year. So we're it's a lot of people. So it's quite minimal what we got going on in terms of change. But these races, 600 milers, a bit of a pain in the ass really, because you can't. Very rarely do you get into a full
rhythm.
Rhythm. Yeah, the rhythm just doesn't work, as you know.
The worst about an offshore race is the first 2 days and the last 2 days. Yeah. And this race just sits right in the middle.
You never want to be
bad all round.
You never want to be the first off watch because you're always buzzed from the start.
Actually, the first off watch is normally the only good one in the race. So if you can, because if you're in the nor'easter, you normally get like 8 till midnight. You're normally okay. Yeah. After that, total shit. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking more like 2 till 6. Down before you get to the rounding mark.
I don't know what goes on, but I've obviously been doing it wrong. I think I'm always on watch 2 to 6. I've never been able to. Even when I'm making a watch system, I'm on 2 to 6.
But BP wasn't on. He was on watch when the infamous Port Starboard back in the day.
Fuck, here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about new fruit? You mentioned the new A2. I actually just ran into Duffy the other day. They said they've just shipping over 1/4 of a ton of sale for you.
Wow.
Yep. It's coming. It's big. It's black. We've changed colours from white to black. It's unbranded because they didn't have time to do anything like that. But funny, they were able to do it in a hurry, which was great. As we actually checked in with the North guys too, and they were able to do it. So really grateful for both the lofts for trying to get us product on time. It's been great. Yeah. I had the phone call. I'm just outside the heads during the cabbage tree race, like 10 minutes into it. And I get the phone call from Christian saying, "What's happening? Have you ordered another one yet?" I said, "I'm just about to bring you." So I'm steering along on the phone. And
just bearing away over around North Head. Stand by.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So he was very keen to get it done, and we're really appreciative for him doing that, because last thing we want to do is race without it. We've got some old gear, but it's not the same.
No.
Yeah.
Would have that changed your strategy? You spoke about the kind of 65 type setup, triple headed. Is that something whilst it was in the strategy, you stumbled across because you didn't have the options, or do you think
we did learn. I'm the first to admit we did learn quite a bit about it on the cabbage tree. We always knew it was there, but for the amount of sailing we do, we kind of take guess parts of the sail chart where we're at, and that was definitely a crossover area. And I think whether we could do it higher up the wind range, we learned a bit in the Solas. You see us downwind with a masthead 0 and the J1 as a staysail, and just we worked a little bit with the lead heights, getting it right. And I tell you, it was pretty quick. Yeah. So it's definitely given us a new thought process on all of that. I don't think the problem is though we are not as light as Comanche, so that when we get to the full downwind stability, so if we go to max heel 23 degrees, max keel, and start sailing, ripping around at 130 in the 130s or something, they're going to be quicker, just simply because they'll bow out.
Yep, sure.
Bow in. So
you got to try and find a sort of a mode that negates that.
I remember. Were you on board when we first launched that boat, Tone? I remember sailing it out of Auckland, and we've literally done that. Put the 0 up, and just ripping along downwind. And Moose has said something along the lines of, "Oh, well, might as well keep the A2 in the locker." We'll never see that. So I think, and now we're seeing it like 15 years later.
Yeah. No, I mean, we were doing the Ericsson program, I guess.
That's right. Yeah.
It took it actually, that's what we found out, that it took a lot. We were wondering why all the drawings for E4 were taking so long. It was because they were doing that boat at the same time.
Well, it was either way, you do a plus or a minus, depending on scale up or scale down.
Yeah. Well, the drawings got mixed up.
Yeah.
Fuck, why have we got interior in this boat?
This is a really small spinnaker.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a cool. I mean, it's still going. I mean, the old boat, it's going all right. It's if we put a bigger mainsail on it and a deeper, lighter keel, she'd be able to get the bow out a bit more, and it would give it another lease of life. But I believe there's a whole bunch of new boats coming online, big boats, 90 to 100 feet in the next year. There's about 4 of them, I believe. So.
It's all getting exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
Do you think that, with that in mind, do you think that, and hoping for a good result this year, there could be a possibility of some sort of upgrade like that? Start sort of thinking about that, give it a new lease of life?
Not for us.
No.
I would have thought it's because the costs just doesn't stack up. You got to have someone who's like fully passionate. They've always wanted a brand new 100-footer. That's a different
story.
thing. And we're, as I keep saying, we come from the angle of return on investment, and it's working now, so we probably can't change it as yet. But I think when the new boats come online, they should be, pretty fast, I would imagine. You got to remember, Comanche's 2014.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's going to be a whole new world. A whole new world. Actually, just while I think of it, so I don't forget it, Christian, I know you'll be listening. Barkarati brought to you by Law Connect. Just putting that out there, just in case. Speaking of return on investment. So exactly right, because just for the listener, the Law Connect was built 2008. It's the original speedboat, so it's a 1K design, and now Comanche 2014. And of course, going to your point, Tony, the world has changed, and we're seeing some pretty crazy big boats starting to pop out. A few of them throwing the foils out the side, which we haven't been able to see the results. But just in terms of how you build a boat, how far the technology is advanced, how much weight you can take out of the boat, all the rig structures, that's the likely area we're going to see savings. So you will see some pretty full bore boats starting to appear. You got any things that you'd like to see in a boat?
I guess more comfortable would be nice. And
lovely.
I was watching that last round the world race with Charlie, a big fan of Charlie Enright and the 11th Hour team, and watching those guys sailing around undercover and all that. That was really. And then you look a little bit closer at the video and you see them all crashing around. They look like they're about to land on the moon. So it was like, maybe that's not so good, but. Maybe on a 100-footer it's okay. I don't know when you're flying. Yeah, but
big full cockpit cover and
pair
of socks and some jammies.
You've been exposed to the Raven Tone, right? The 111, the Boateng 111.
Oh, of course you have. Yeah.
No, I have. I've seen it. I haven't. Brad's been sailing on it.
Right. Copy.
Yeah, I was part of the Scorpius thing, which is more conventional.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay. So. From that, obviously, as you said, you sailed with the Scorpius thing and then that Baltic 111. Is there stuff you see on those boats or is it you're looking at the Amokas? Because I think if you took us three and asked us, we'd probably focus towards the Amoka stuff a bit more. And as you said, the way those boats go, like they just look, once they get it worked out, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you got to remember, like, Raven and that, it's probably got a lot of cruising concessions.
Yep.
So there's a lot of extra weight they've got to carry. So once you're going down that road, you end up with a different vessel. And I think you just go out and out racing, you're going to have a much more lighter, nimble machine, possibly. I mean, and the other thing is that they might not even need to be 100 feet. For example, like the 60-footers are going pretty damn fast now, and that 55 true wind angle upwind, in 18, 20 knots, they're ripping. They're in the teens, aren't they? I think in speed-wise. So to me, from what I've seen of those, I think that kind of thing, or with a maybe not the straight like the foils that they have, but maybe some sort of T-foil, a slightly different foil, could be the go. Obviously, elevators on the rudder is something you have to have, really, if you want to go fully foiling. The stern dragging thing is, like all the IMOCs are spending the whole time trying not to drag the stern. With all, but
so they're compromising on the design there. Imagine, if it was full, free and open, and then we can get a couple doing this race as well. Be bloody awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I think that. Having one of those ripping off the start line in an upwind scenario, doing 17 knots on the wind, pretty much half out of the water, or even fully out of the water. To me, I think that's the future. I think, and the 60-foot is probably a better size. That everything becomes a little bit smaller and easier to manage with less crew as well. More efficient, I would think.
Imagine the spectator fleet on the start and those things ripping out of the harbour, and you've got the lone kayaker in the front row, and it's attack coming on.
Niall Kinch out in his
windsurf.
in his surf ski.
26th, mate. I cannot imagine one more boat on the harbour from what we had.
It's insane, isn't it? I tell you what, it is. It's a magical experience, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I believe there was over 1 million people watching the start with their own eyes between all the headlands and on the water.
Amazing, isn't it?
That was, which is, I can't think of any other sport or event.
Middlehead is one of the most beautiful places to watch the start from. If anyone gets the chance to do it, it's a spectacular place to go, and it's all bushland, and it's lovely. Yeah,
I mean, what else are you going to do on the 26th? You probably got a hangover. You probably, just need to get out of the house.
Take the leftover
for
prawns
more reasons than one.
Yeah, I will say for the overseas listeners, it is very much an Australian tradition these days. Like, you talk to non-sailors anywhere, you talk to any Aussie, and what are you doing Boxing Day? Well, obviously we've got the start of the Boxing Day test, which is a cricket thing, but everyone at lunchtime, it's perfectly timed, so everyone tunes in to watch the start of the Sydney Hobart. It is part of the Australian tradition. That's Christmas, part of Australian Christmas. You go and have a fight with your family on the day before, and then you get your drinks all lined up, and you watch the start of the Hobart, and everyone does it. Everyone does it. It's just what people are doing on Boxing Day. So that's the Australian tradition. So it is huge, and it's for return on investment for Christian, and it's pretty decent.
Yeah. I think it's an impressive thing, and I just cannot see it ever stopping. I mean, it's such an amazing thing that touches so many people.
It's pretty. I'll just take you on a little mental journey I had only a few weeks ago.
Here we go.
So
sit back and relax.
Yeah.
Having done a few Hobarts, and kind of linked up with the Willow team. So the boat was entered in the race, the Willow, the Volvo 70X E3, which you would have done plenty of miles on as well, Tone.
Yeah, mate.
The race was off. Then all of a sudden, it's on. We're looking for crew. We're looking at logistics. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're checking the sail inventory. You get all excited about the race. And then 24 hours, 36 hours, you're like, oh, geez, bloody Hobart again. Am I that excited about it? And then 48 hours later, the race is off. And you're like, damn it.
Oh.
I really wanted, so it's in a bit of it, and especially this time of year as well. Like, it's not as though it's just like the 18th of March or some random date, right? But being around Christmas, it just adds that extra element. And especially for the sailors, like, it's a big call to be going to see in one of the most notorious races on, the 26th of December. It's emotional for everyone. I mean, ocean races are regardless, but at that time of year, it's I think it adds that extra element from a sailing point of view.
Yeah, it definitely does. Would it be the Sydney Hobart if it was March the 18th, as you said? Would it have any standing at all? Probably not.
No. Just normal race.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you've done an absolute bucket load of ocean races, and how do you go on the morning of the race? Do you still you have a little bit of a nervous moment? I mean, it's still a pretty tough race.
Nervous number twos, is that what you're referring to?
Mate, I'm bloody steering 100-footer with the world's longest bowsprit on it around the upper. I'm always nervous on that thing.
Yeah.
Look, I think, you're right in saying I've done a lot, but to be fair, I'm still nervous. It'd be great. I think if I wasn't nervous, I shouldn't be doing it.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always a lot going on, just mentally making sure, thinking about, have we forgotten anything? Have we, because the whole year's about this moment. So we just got to try and get it right, So there's that in the back of my mind always playing. And
then you're like, oh, fuck, did I bring my boots?
I don't take boots, mate. I try not to take boots. Yeah. I have some socks and some sand shoes, and I'm good to go, mate.
Sealskins, yep. Good.
Mate, I'm trying to remember the last time I wore boots was probably on Vestas. Yeah. Going across the Atlantic, the Northern Atlantic, that would have been the last time I wore boots.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit of a Crocs fan myself. Sealskins and Crocs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. As long as you got the grip at 25 degrees of heel, you're good. You might need a spare Croc.
A lazy Croc.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a Croc blowout.
No, hell no. Don't want to. Exactly.
Symmetrical that you can put on either foot as a spare.
The we'll get Warnk to design some asymmetric Crocs. Here's my port tack Crocs, starboard tack Crocs.
He already has. He's already just started.
He's onto it.
I got to say, Tony, we have been approached by marketing companies to try and do the whole sponsorship. We do seem to touch enough people that they want us to tie in and do these things. And the approach they all come in is we'll go for watches and champagne brands and blah, blah, blah. And we've just gone, you really don't get our audience. You know, like if you were coming to us and saying we're going to pitch to Crocs and we're going to do the Barcarati Croc, then you've got us. You've got it worked out. Yeah. But you know, like all this champagne and Rolex. We're the ordinary sailor. We're not the owners. You know, so we haven't agreed with any firm yet. No one's sort of come to us with the right audience. But yeah, when the Barcarati Croc comes out with the photo of Nick, with Nick Bice, those little clip-on things where you can put each
put the lights on it.
Yeah, with Nick Bice's head. That's what we're going to be doing. So
there we go. Yeah, but that makes more sense. I mean, like when you're saying that, I mean, I think I've been doing Rolex events for 20 plus years. I don't think I've ever seen a Rolex up close. Or not a real one.
This year could be the year.
You've obviously, you won the race. You had the record. So on this boat, I'm just trying to think. What year was that? That was 2016.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. We had a blinder down there. Had a great ride, and it was the funniest thing. Like we didn't even realise we were going to break the record until I think someone came up from below and said, "You realise I think we've just knocked about 3 or 4 hours off the record." It was no way. Wow. And sure enough, we did it, and then we did it, and everyone said to us, "Oh, that's amazing! That record's going to last for 20 years." Yeah. Last exactly 11 months.
I love it.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. What about this? You're an expert in sailing. We can't just focus on the maxi. So you can look independently here in this situation. What about the overall? So when we are talking about the winner of the Hobart Tattersalls Cup, Any boat standing out for you at the moment?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, within the rule, with the IRC rule, it seems to heavily favour. It's actually a problem in the rule, I think, that heavily favours the 52s. So I'm not sure, and it's not the weather. It's clearly because they're winning everything around the world all the time. So it's actually a major. If anyone from IRC's listening, I'd tell you right now, you've completely got it wrong. I'm not saying that Maxi should be winning it, but the boats like here's a classic example down there, URM.
Yep.
They've been racing really well this year, and all the Blue Water Point Score series, and they've been, and watching them from the outside, they actually sail the boat really, really well.
Yep.
As well, and so on a boat like that for me, without knowing that there's a massive bias towards a 52, I would say that would be my favourite, URM or Whisper, and trying to think of
Alive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Alive. That's a Tasmanian. Isn't it? That's a Tasmanian boat.
Tasmanian boat.
Well. They can get their bow down. Like anything downwind, they'll be definitely one to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny with the TP52s because they are so dominant. The 60 footers, they've got to have. There's a perfect race for the 60s. and that's why at the moment it hasn't happened. And it could be this year, but
it wouldn't have to be a perfect race.
I know, and I agree with you 100%.
To give you an example, like last year, I reckon we sailed the perfect race.
Right.
Yep.
Like then we probably only left 30 seconds getting out of the harbour, and we lost 30 seconds somewhere else and downtime. And so I would expect us, and we were downwind most of the way, and reaching up the river, and never stopped or anything. And a 52 still. And I'm not saying we should win. I don't actually want us to win ever on IRC. I think it's not good for the race if we do. But we should be on the score sheet somewhere in the top 15 or something. And we're not even, by hours and hours and hours, not even anywhere. And that, and then you see a 52 on the wind for all the way up Storm Bay and still clean up. Seriously, something terribly wrong here. Yeah.
Wow.
Terribly. Yeah. So when you see that, and it's not just that race, that's just one example, but there's plenty of other ones. And I think that there's an awful lot of 60-footers that are 60 plus footers there in Sydney that are campaigned really well, and they're sailed really well, and I think they need to feature more. I think that they've got to even it up a bit more, make it a bit better.
For the good of racing.
Would it be good getting the... I mean, and we don't see it that often, but the 52s versus the 72s, like that, around that rule. And if, in theory, they should replicate each other a little bit.
Well, I mean, in theory, if they're all sailed equally as good, they should all finish at the same time, right? But
exactly.
I tell you, there's no way that's ever possible. And then the 52 guys will say, well, we'll sail it better than you guys. But, okay, that's cool. But when you've sailed, like when you just take the weather, for example, and what you're experiencing, that's the one thing that's outside of the rule, which is the weather, how much percentage you spend at what angle. And if they're still winning races after going upwind, then there's something clearly not right. It's, yeah. And I don't mean to take anything away from them. I'm just saying I think it needs to be a bit of a rejig there, so that the at least the 60 to 70 footers have a like URM, for example, has a decent bash at it, because I think they're doing a damn fine job.
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm hearing here, Tone, because each year for the last few years we've done daily shows, do live streams, doing daily shows, and BP has emerged as the Hobart savant. He can predict everything. But what I'm, he's been predicting the winners, hasn't got it wrong. But what I'm hearing from you is it's not that hard. You just got to pick one of the 52. So BP's not as good as we think, is what I picked up from that conversation.
Well,
yeah. So, I mean, the other 52, I think, is it Caro? I think that's coming down again. And that's race 52, so it'll be that one, I guess.
I was lucky enough to spend Wednesday night with the Bubs and have a long chat about everything.
And you're alive.
And we went down to the Palace, and we had a lovely feed, and he and my family caught up. But they're another example of campaigning. They're excited. So it's interesting to see how it all pans out for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm guessing that them and is it Celeste will have Celestial have another match race all the way there.
Yeah. What about how you placed on the double-hander stuff, mate? I reckon you'd be pretty enthusiastic. Is my gut feel cheats? Which side of the coin are you on here, mate? The double-handers?
No, I'm happy to say I'm too old to do double-handing. So, but I think, especially the high-level stuff. But for me, I like the double-handing. I think it's the fastest growing part of our sport worldwide, I would think. I don't know. I'm sure it is over there in Australia as well. In New Zealand here, actually, the two-handed racing is massive. And what it does is just people with all different shapes and sizes of boats. And there's old boats over here, and the next minute they got bowsprits on, and this and that, got whisker poles and
asymmetricals on the old S&S 34s.
Yeah, the Stewart 34.
Stewart 34. There's a Stewart 34 racing with a bowsprit. Awesome.
Powerful.
So actually, they just
furling downwind zeros.
They announced a race tone out of the squadron. I can't remember the name of it, but one of the big pushes was for the double-handed class. Those are 500 miler or something like that.
Yeah, around the three things. So it's up off the islands off the top of New Zealand. You got to go up there and around those and back down in your small boat. Yeah,
but I'd imagine the double handers will actually take up majority of the fleet for that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. In fact, I'd be surprised if there is a fully crewed one.
I know we're in that race.
Fully crewed stuff. The problem with the fully crewed stuff that we have in New Zealand now, and it actually started happening a long time ago, is that everyone got into this. They just want to do windward lewards as close to the yacht club as you can get, and it's kind of like the weekend warrior stuff where you go out and do, on your little boat, you do a 200 mile or a 100 miler, and you for a weekend. That sort of went out the window, but it's actually come back in now.
Yeah, cool.
So all the two-hander stuff was starting to be more popular than the fully crewed windward leeward stuff. I think it's great because the
New Zealand double-handed scene's actually bigger than Australia. Believe it or not, it's actually it's a huge thing.
It's probably just different older boats, though, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But they're doing it for different reasons. It's because it's good fun. I think they're enjoying it and just. And they get to tinker a bit with different shaped boats and, putting their bowsprit on their Stewart and stuff like that. Cool. Yeah, I like it.
Love it. What about just for you personally, coming over for the OK Worlds, mate? Going to pull one out of the shed and have a go?
Yeah, no. So I'm trying to think. Last OK Worlds I did was Melbourne. Black Rock Yacht Club, Melbourne, 1990.
Came fourth from memory?
Yeah.
From memory. Threw it away in the downwind leg of the
I don't
last
know if
race.
you looked at the calendar recently, but I got one right in front of me and it's got 2023 written on it. So 33 years ago. Yeah. I did come out of retirement. Because I did the Nationals in 1994 in New Zealand. I remember that. And then I came back and did a Nationals in 2000 and won them with a day's training. But I can tell you right now, that ain't going to happen ever again. Yeah, I'd be lucky to be able to stand up and drive that. I'd have to wear a crash helmet.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Yeah.
Sorry,
BP. I was just
going to touch, but you go.
No, you go, bud. Much more.
Well, I was just going to say we're getting towards the end, but Law Connect and Comanche live on the same dock. Do you give them a bit of a rub up in the banter when you get down there? Is there a bit of eye looking?
Yeah. But
Good.
The problem is, like all of our guys, they all know each other.
Yeah, that's the important part.
Yeah, but that's what's quite good. So there is a little bit of banter starting, but it's only on the fun side. There's nothing.
Absolutely.
But
that's all we're after. There is a
little bit of a wind up, and there's a few of them. There's a few of them that don't talk to us, but that's cool.
Oh, you don't want those people.
No.
We want to be fair, they're all actually been really, really cool people, and we get on pretty good. And we actually share tools and that kind of stuff. If they need something, we give it to them, and if we need something, and they
if
they
you
give
need
it to
something,
us.
you got to go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well,
what's yours is mine, and mine is mine.
Yeah, we needed an A2 a couple of weeks ago, but
I think Warro's bought up all the second-hand ones. Yeah. All right, mate, we are kind of out of time. So just to finish it off, you talked before about the technology and the broadcast off the boat. Just going to throw an idea at you, a pitch. I've had an idea while we've been chatting.
Yep.
That's
Unusual.
Unusual, yeah. Bar karate live from Law Connect.
Yeah.
We could just do the stream every day live from Law Connect. The three of us.
Being 100-footer, we could get there. We could do the race and then chuff off over to the windsurfing world. It'd be good.
Yep. No, you guys. I mean, we can do it from the boat. We can do a live feed from the boat anywhere, anytime. So no problem at all.
Who's doing the comms? Is Dylan on board or?
No, we have one of the law connectors, Yehan, has taken it on. But what I will do is I'll put you guys in touch with Renee, our marketing person, and sure it won't be a problem.
Oh,
you guys
this is going to happen. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, that's unusual.
That's unusual.
We generally have a lot of ideas and do fuck all about it. But
hey, and you guys will get a link sent to you and everything.
Oh wow! Is that one of those things in blue?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
love it.
Before the time. Yeah.
All right. Hey, man, have a great trip south.
Absolutely, my friend.
I hope you smash it. I suspect you're going to go pretty well. You're looking good. We'll be cheering you on. Just give us a thumbs up at the start when you cross over, like a little sharker or something like that.
Sharky, I think.
It's just something.
Right.
So we tried to come up with the K, but it's too hard. You got to use two hands. Or do the crossovers. Do the crossovers. Yeah, the hand.
At some stage, when you know you're on the air, just do one of these. It'll be great.
Yeah. But yeah,
if I'm not too bunched and I remember, I'll try and do something. Yeah.
But yeah, have a great trip south, and all the best to you guys, mate. It's good fun chatting as per usual.
Yep. Thanks, you guys. Merry Christmas to all, and look forward to catching up with a beer at some time with you.
Yeah.
Bloody oath.
Yeah.
Cheers, Tone.
All right.
See you,
Cheers,
mate.
guys.
I'll hunt you down, mate. Don't worry. Cheers.
Yeah. Good. I'm easy to find.
Yeah.
All right, stick with me a bit, boys.
Righto.
I've got a bit of an analogy.
Oh.
Analogy? Is that what you call it? Anyway,
Yeah.
Tony Mutter, sailing master of the Law Connect, big boat, big bowsprit. I reckon lining up that boat on the 26th of December would be like going out with Warwick Kappa in King's Cross in the late 80s. Just a dude just walking around with all this.
Well, his entourage.
So for the overseas listener, you probably wouldn't get that. But put it this way, it's a big statement, and walking around with a big statement, ready to go.
Yeah. Overseas listeners, all I can say is Google Warwick Kappa, football player, Aussie rules football player, and very tight shorts. You'll probably get
Flowing blonde locks.
Yeah, but the tight shorts, the big pole is where I think Bice is going there.
The J24.
The J24 on the bow. Yeah. Well,
So
good discussion.
mate,
He's a good man.
Yeah, good man. And no wonder, like that consistency bit we spoke about. No wonder where they're at. When you look at the caliber of their leaders, being in of course Tony and Nico and the rest of the team, it's one of those ones where it's kind of a rock star team as opposed to a team of rock stars.
Yep.
That makes sense.
We bang on about that quite a lot, don't we? That it is the team that makes up that gives the result, and I think they're a tight knit group.
Yep.
They get on well, and they focus on this race.
Been doing it for a long time.
That's exactly right.
They deserve to go extremely well.
And it showed in the big boat race as well. The fact that the team knows the boat. And so that shone the other day.
Here.
Very cool.
Talk about walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Went for a bit of a walk yesterday up and down the dock at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia, where the fever is all on, as we've discussed.
Maximum fever.
Noticed a lot of Raddicks getting put on the boats. I did.
BP's doing his own segues. This is great.
Yeah. I actually was impressed.
This in the run sheet?
He did well. High five yourself, BP.
Well done, me. Well done. But as you probably know, we're fairly involved with Raddicks, and I've gone and walked up and down the dock, and there's a lot of people who have, believe it or not, listened to us. Don't go to gym. Don't go to gym on the day of the race.
Just have some Raddicks instead.
Have some Raddicks a few days before. Get going. Get the body happening. And they're all into it. They're into this whole idea of performance. And I think out the window of the Snakes and Mars bars, Raddicks is in.
That's been a big change, hasn't it?
Mate, I'll tell you what. How's this going to be? Some of the teams coming in from outside of Sydney, they're all sitting around for a Christmas lunch. What are you having? Oh, I'm having the Indian curry.
Having the Mexican chili.
Yes.
Got myself a bit of peri peri here.
Yeah, high prep for the Hobart.
I love it.
I've just smashed me banana breakfast V9, which is coming out, by the way. The V9s will be out this week if you do happen to get your hands on some.
Hey,
version 9.
Finger on the pulse, BP.
Oh, mate,
BP.
Can't help.
Are you on a side deal here?
The Australian
we
manager.
suspected it from day one.
The Australian manager just sits in the desk next to me. So yeah. Of course, that's all happened. No. Seriously speaking, it is good. It's happening. A lot of people are getting onto it. So, Radix Nutrition, take it on.
Yeah, advancing towards personalised nutrition. If you go to the Radix website, Radix Nutrition, and in the code when you go to make your purchase, type in the word Bar Karate, one word, BARKARATE, and you'll get a discount on us.
I'm thinking of, I've spoken about the Radix experiment previously.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got, I probably need to do it at this point in time. Having done 3 Europe trips, 3 Kiwi trips in the last 3 months, it's probably about time. So I'm going to call it in the new year.
Well, I'm going to go as far as actually take someone on a plane with me because I'm just over that plane food. I can't do it.
Love it.
I can't do the plane food anymore.
I hear you.
Nah, move on. Okay, where are we at?
Okay, events, boys. I do want to plug. One of our friends. So we've got a good friend of the show. In fact, a great friend of the show is our friends at Solas NASA, NASA.
Of course.
Yeah. And there is a bar karate boat in the fleet. So for those who over near the northeast of the USA, the racing in the high performance, the catamarans, they're catwhackers. So obviously, whilst we joke about catwhackers, we obviously love them because we've got a bar karate sponsored boat. The summer series has been announced, so of upcoming races. So the summer series, of course, in the US is at completely the wrong time. It's June. So if you go to the Instagram page, search Solas NASA, NASA, and you'll be able to find it. But June 8 to 9, the Wickford Regatta, then June 22 to 3, NASA 1, the F18 Worlds, June 28 to July 5th, Newport Regatta, NASA 2, the New England 100, then a whole bunch more regattas. So they're going from June right through to September, and the whole list is laid out for you there. So that's an important one. Just wanted to mention that. The other one I think we need to mention is the Clipper race. The people that jumping on those boats, they're into Freo now, and they're on their way. Next stop will be Newcastle in New South Wales.
Shall I get the Komodo Joe fired up? Get a few briskets on?
Yeah, they're coming past.
They're coming past. I reckon it should be a mark of the course, to be honest, from now on. Oh shit! What's the point of actually rescuing a couple? Why don't we get them all there and have a bit of an anchor up off the coast there?
Bit of a brisket off, you reckon?
Brisket off with the anchor, a couple of rubber ducks, and off you go.
Yeah, straight in off Henley Beach. Got to come up. Got to have half a kilo of brisket and some potato bacon. Off you go.
See you later. One of those beautiful summer nights, no wind, no swell, just sitting there, whole fleet and some briskets.
I think they should, from what memory, they're due to hit Newcastle around sort of really early January, like New Year's Eve sort of time, the first few days of January.
I'm seeing something a bit gnarly here.
Oh, it'll be great fun. Like going from Freo.
They're going to be coming up the coast as the boats are going down the coast.
Oh, BP. Didn't think of
thought about that, have we?
No.
Oh, Jesus. Mate,
Starboard.
So the Sunfish Union must have reached out. They need like double shifts this year.
Well, I think that's why they've called on their
overtime.
That's why they've called on their mates, the Orcas.
Oh,
because, they've said we're just inundated here. We can't manage this.
All right, you take the fleet going north. We'll take the fleet going south.
Yep, we'll go offshore. You go inshore. Nice one, Vicey. Jinx.
I love it.
So it is going to be an interesting one to watch. We'll see. We'll watch the timing on that one. That could be something we keep an eye on.
I do think you guys are all over it. But for those going up, I was just going to say Freo is a great place to pull into, but Newcastle as well. It's a really cool sort of spot to go.
Fantastic spot.
Yeah. Cool. All right. The Jack Lloyd listeners of the week, obviously remember if you do enter into this, send us some of the cool stuff. It can be whatever it is, but each month we'll be awarding the Vicobi listener of the month $200 worth of vouchers, so you can get what you want from Vycobi, and thanks to the team there. Got some good stuff coming in this week. First one is Davo the Dave, which Davo the Dave, which is my favourite thing. I shared it on the story, our Instagram story. He sent us a bit of video of you, Bicey, doing trying to get to a recording of bar karate in your little defender there, going through the puddle and flipping on the side. You see that one yet, bud?
No, mate. And I mean, it's AI these days. You can't trust anything that comes in and out. So fake news.
Fake news.
Actually, that's what we got a reminder of our new hats making sailing great again. That's what we need. Speaking of fake news.
Yeah.
Our new hats, yeah. Bark rating.
That's a good one.
Making sailing great again.
Yeah, well, that has been one of our listeners, John Howard, coming in. He's sent us some T-shirt ideas. So John Howard, former Prime Minister of Australia.
Little Johnny.
What was it? A picture of just two big eyebrows.
No, I'm assuming it wasn't the former Prime Minister of Australia.
Shit.
Come on.
Have me going.
Of course it was.
So that's good one. So he has given us a bit of grief because the T-shirts are wearing out. His bar karate T-shirt's wearing out, and we probably should do something because we'll
work on it.
But yeah, I think we're going to start doing that. So that is definitely on the agenda. We'll likely do some caps. I would suggest first. So that's a cool one. So I think making sailing great. I don't mind that. I think a few people might have. What colour? We're not doing them red. That's for damn
red.
sure.
Got to be red. Red, white to match your tie.
Red, white, and blue.
Oh God! Let's start a war. Okay. We got a great email from Dom Keane.
Domo.
Which sparked a lot of discussion between us this week, lads.
Yes.
A lot.
It's a good one.
Okay, I have an idea. So one, you always get a win coming in when you message us and you quote us back at ourselves. It just works so well. I think you guys should move your podcast publishing time to Monday. That way you can easily review sailing regattas such as SailGP right after they happen, and I'd especially love to see more of an in-depth analysis of the SailGP. SailGP used to have a podcast, but it's dead now because it's bloody hard work, kids, and it's left a gap, just his 2 cents. He's a big fan of the show. He sent us a few emails recently, so it's started some serious debate. First off, my point in response, and I wrote back to Dom, it's very hard to get all of us together. Our recording times are not fixed. It's very random. For example, this is it's 5 a.m. Saturday morning for me at the moment, 5:30 for Boss. We're all in Australia at the moment. Actually, it's been a while. So it's not often that we will actually record. But the banter has flown backwards and forwards and suggesting we record at 5 a.m. Monday mornings to do exactly what Dom said.
Shall we repeat just a little bit of the banter?
If you
Personally, the safest time for me, an hour that I could block out within my week, would be 5 a.m. Monday morning.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it might have to move my gym time and my run time around.
And just surfing.
I mean, I would just be getting home from a run at that point in time, so I'd be all amped up and the vibe, the flow would be running. So,
and I'm just getting home from my European meeting, so it'd be fine.
Yeah.
What I mean,
like it. I really like it.
The only thing I think we'd have to do, and puts pressure on me, is we'd have to actually record it, and I'd have to get that edited and out straight away, because I think there's a lot of our listeners on the commute to work on a Monday morning. It's what they
want
do.
It in their inbox.
And want it in their inbox.
And when we do miss an episode, the shite that we get back from our loyal listeners is that their week is wrecked.
Anyway, we're thinking about it.
Essentially, we could do the intro and outro, say on Monday AM.
Yeah.
And then it's a matter of just for you to plug it all together.
Yeah.
Well,
just put it all together, Jordan, and get it out there.
Yeah, the other option is we just do the outro. We do the intro as per normal.
Anyway, let's move on. I think it's sparked. You can tell it sparked this great debate for us, and it's something we're considering very hard. If people want to hear more of that latest up-to-date discussion. Also, I do want to say all the classes that have been sending us information about their classes.
This is a big one, isn't it? This is a big one.
Classes have coming through hard. Go on, BP.
Game
I was
changer.
just going to say, yeah, absolutely. We really want to promote classes, and there was another bit of debate this week about this, and Bicey was well and truly in charge of this one. We did have the Meldress 20 fleet come in with which we're really excited about. I'd love to get hold of that and have a chat to those, because that's a class which is super strong and continues on its merry way. But then Bicey's come in with the Rainbow, of course.
I mean, we don't like to boast about our favourite things. Of course, we got one Jordan Spencer pushing the 505 cart.
I've never done that.
Myself on the Rainbow.
Yeah.
But we haven't mentioned the second best off the beach class in the world, Sharpie.
Oh, yeah. No.
That'll be good one.
I think
fourth leg would be good for that one.
We want to do some global classes. We're going to do some unique and interesting ones, I think, is where we're going to start with. But,
Rainbow.
We've got to make it interesting. We'll do Rainbow during Pride Week, I think, boss.
Well, the algorithm knows when that's coming up, I'll tell you. I'll put my chaps on and I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, ready to roll.
I love it. And the other one to all the listeners, I think Barry Berg started it, Gold Coast Sailor, well-known Gold Coast Sailor. There was a whole bunch of you. It seemed to pushing for Cole Brower Ocean Racing on the Instagram. It's a young lass.
Yes.
I've
been observing this week.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of pressure for us to get her. So we've heard it. Okay. So perhaps she seems to be doing some great Insta covers if you haven't jumped onto her page, and go from there. Yeah. So
I've got another candidate for Listener of the Week.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Brett Perry.
Oh,
the amount of messages that came through our global message channel with your mates in Perth to go and do the windsurfer world.
Yeah.
I tell you.
I was going to bring that up in hot time.
My phone rang me and said, "Hey, settle this bloke down, will you?"
I never know where I'm
deal with it
communicating
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hang on.
It's hot time with Bice.
So, are you doing the
Wally Wild
Nationals BP? The
I'm
world?
95%. 95%. I'm in the process of getting the sale number of the board that's been lent my way. I'm in the process of handing the money over to the membership, because you've got to obviously become a class member.
You might be able to get a hat after this as well.
Well, apparently I've got a hat somewhere. But I don't know where.
Oh, no, we gave them away.
So it's on Bicey's shelf just behind him there.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the red one. So it is looking good, but like I said, it's not done and delivered yet. But we're pushing.
Well, it's close.
Oh.
Well, it's getting there. So when are the Worlds again? Did we even mention the Worlds? Have we talked about the Wallies?
The Wally World, yeah, we have.
Oh, no, I was being facetious.
I've done
episode 236
from
memory.
Yeah. Obviously 29th to the 4th of January. But I've done my training, 1996. I think I put in a good solid week.
North Haven Beach.
I love it.
So I'm looking good.
West Slacks.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fit. I've got my angles all sorted. I understand the rig tensions, and everything's looking great.
Yeah, cool. I look forward to observing. Maybe you could do a few live crosses from the race course.
Yeah, no,
particularly looking forward to the freestyle, splits on the rail and a few masthead in the centerboard case, that sort of thing. Yeah. Rotating pivot jibes through the boom.
I'm going to suggest, BP, you reach out to Nick Bez and just say, can the judging for the freestyle for you be done whilst you're racing? Okay.
Yeah. It would be pretty funny.
The marathon result is when I'm trying to do the freestyle.
Yeah. Because
turn around.
It can get quite steep, short, sharp, steep right there, just off south of Perth. And if the jellies are running as well, there's a fair chance going downwind that you could be doing some forward somersaults and flips that no one has thought to do in the freestyle competition before.
I'm all over it. Don't worry.
Good.
Love it. What else you got?
Speaking of somersaults and flips, a few of that was taking place in Auckland this week, which I witnessed for the first couple of boats over the line in the Ocean Globe race. After the translated 9, first boat in after 36 days at sea, Cape Town to Auckland. So quite swift, I would say.
Yeah, not too bad.
So congrats to them for bringing it in. It's quite a bit of hoo-ha about it, as you could well imagine. The Steinlager was out on the water to welcome the boats in. So we had translated 9, first Penduic, second over the line, Spirit of Helsinki, third over the line. So, and I think translated has probably wrapped it up. So
taken all the chocolates.
Well,
taken the chocolates.
Still quite a few to come in still, but yeah. So well done to them. They're going to have a nice little time in Auckland for what we call the festive season. And as mentioned in the intro, like there's plenty of activity going on down there. So if you are what we call what do they call them? Another Aucklander? I forget the exact acronym there, but they can head down to North Wharf, Halsey Street, and check it all out. The Jaffa. Just another fucking Aucklander. That's it.
I just had an idea there. I've had an idea just while you were talking, boss. You know, you're reading the names of all those boats, the Spirit of this and the Spirit of that. I've got a name for your next boat, mate.
Yeah, go on.
The Spirit of VB.
The Spirit of well, yes. Well, as you do know, one of my first vessels, the VB Express. Yeah. So
what a fine vessel.
It does fit in nicely.
What a fine vessel the VB Express was, and I say was very, very openly.
Well, that's how you do it. You name it after one of your original favourite boats. So the Spirit of VB, I think that one might actually come up at some stage.
Shall I reach out for a bit of sponsorship like I did back in the day when they just sent me one stubby holder? I wrote this big letter, sent it to Carlton United Breweries, and they sent me a stubby holder.
I love it. Yeah.
Was it on the board that day we split the mast in two?
Oh, well used for buoyancy. It was one of those foam ones.
And I don't mean split the mast in two vertically. I went straight up the centre seam with this wooden mast. It just bent in half. It was funny. Anyway.
Beauty. All right. Other stuff, boys. Last weekend, the SA Sailing League, Sailing League took place despite the Dockside Festival being cancelled due to the weather. The Sailing League action side of it still took place and was won by a local hero, Largs Bay Sailing Club member, Luke Stevens, ex-Port Lincolnite. So congrats to him, congrats to all the team, and well done, Harry, at the end of the day for basically getting it across the line because it was pretty atrocious conditions here in Adelaide last week.
Yeah.
Bloody pothole lids were popping off everywhere. The amount of rain was ridiculous, but they managed to get it all across the board. So well done them. And Luke is now eligible to do the Asia Pacifics or the Nationals, whatever it's going to be. Very good. So well done to them. And then, of course, the other one.
There's a lot going on, isn't there?
There is a lot going on.
This is going to take forever, this
Sail GP.
Oh, my God.
Last week was, I mean, just overall, it was, you know, what I like to call quite a few drag races because they weren't falling. They were just dragging their shit along with them. But it was pretty like...
It was good dragging.
A bit of a pity that there wasn't just a tad more breeze. But...
First day was good, but...
probably led to one of the most exciting...
finishes.
30 seconds in Sail GP history. That last bottom mark.
No question.
For the final.
No question
How's
at all.
Doobs' form? You go to Dubai, like last year, the final where it was GBR missed, they didn't get their fall down, missed the jibe. Australia cuts inside and gets the win. Like the most exciting finish, and it was all done within 20 metres of all the fans. And then this year, even though it was light wind drift off, it was 3 boats within them. It's Doobs. Doobs has got the form, hasn't it?
The Doobs knows how to do it. Absolutely.
And not Doobs the person. We discussed this last week. Doobs being Dubai.
Dubai, yeah. We're the new marketing team for the for Dubai. You wait, there'll be T-shirts out. Come to the Doobs.
I tell you, there was some footage of.
Don't be seen doing a Doobs in the Doobs.
There was some footage from inside that little spectator stand there. I'm sure you've seen it, but them coming into that mark was just phenomenal, wasn't it? And the space they've got there is it's only 3 wide, probably anyway.
Yeah, exactly right. It's probably 2.5 wide. It's actually 3, obviously. They didn't know that until they went through there, but
yeah,
it was
3 wide.
A little bit of controversy in the lead up, barging and starting. There was a response by one of the Barkarati team on, and judging by the language and the way it was written, BP, I suspect you wrote that one.
I never.
Why did you respond? Right. Was that you, BP?
Probably.
I thought it was you, Jordan.
No, I don't write like that.
Well, see, Jordan's too close to it, so I thought I'd just sort of tell it how I felt.
Black and white, and we could read. But anyway, so there was the bit of barging in a couple of the races, and the end one, there was a bit of controversy whether it should have been a black flag by a few of the punters. The Barkarati position was I'm assuming from BP was absolutely kick 100%. The bastards out.
Full stop, I think I wrote.
Yeah.
Well, if you we can talk about it. If you look at that start, I mean, USA really did avoid a collision in the end. I mean, that's just not on, So that's the benchmark that's been set. And they don't want to have this sort of
for
rigmarole going on.
For the listeners who are objecting to it, look, it's a race management thing. They don't want the boats wrecked. There's no spare boats. So they're going to black flag it. So it's when you race, one of the things you do is part of the strategy is understanding how the race is done. So if you're match racing, you've got to manage the umpires just as much as manage your sailing, and when you're in stadium racing and you're being monitored like that, it's the same principle. So you've got to understand that. So it was always going to be a black flag. Whether you agree with it or not, it's from a race management perspective, trying to protect the boats and the people, it was always going to be a black flag. And they'll do it every time.
Yeah, no, there's no question. I mean, look, if you can pull it off,
go for it.
You're going to win the race, aren't you?
Yeah, they want you to be close, but not do.
But there's going to be more black flags than not in that instance, I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
So next one, boys, I'm going to apologise. So I haven't been over this at all. Yep. So one of you boys are going to have to pick up the mantle here, and you might even have your tattoo by now. But the Waszp Games.
Yes, the Waszp Games. How good were they? Huge battle right down to the end of the wire.
Got a bit of reverse curse going on too, haven't we?
Oh, look, it's interesting. So they had with the actual fleet racing, they basically ended up having 6 races in a day, and then they had a couple to the end. So the last day they had a couple more. I think they were trying to get 4 in on the last day, but weather didn't quite play out. And we talked about all the main players, who the likely threats were. And it's gone to Sam Street. The Kiwi has gone back to back. And he came in with his intentions clear, because his sail number's 1, and he's gone race 1. He's gone 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, complete fail. 1, then a 10 and a 7 and a 2.
Oh my God! What happened to his last? What
different conditions, I think. I think he was in his right conditions. Anyway, so Sammy Street took it out back to back at which is
well played, Streeter.
On your Streeter,
Sambo, and then we've got a young Hattie.
Magnus Overbeck and then Hippolyte Cruet. So Hippolyte, my favourite name, Cruet, into the
If you had a kid, would you call him Hippolyte Spencer?
Oh, I would be.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I don't mind that. Hippolyte Danger Spencer. Hattie Rogers taking the win.
I'd call him Hypocrite Danger Spencer.
Hypocrite Spencer.
Go, hips.
Hippo.
Hip to the hop.
Hip to the hop, to the hip to the hop.
Anyway, congratulations. Hattie really showing some great form.
She's wearing a reverse curse T-shirt with pride.
Yeah. Taking
twice now. Can you be greedy?
Can you be greedy? No.
With the reverse curse, or does it go on forever? The reverse curse?
No.
Well, she's Because she did win in Lake Garda and she's won here. So
Etarak Rab. That's bar karate reversed. Yeah. So she's got her T-shirt inside out.
Congratulations
next is back to front.
Helena Sanderson from New Zealand was second, and then Tess Lloyd, her lovely human being Tess Lloyd, into third. So great work. Waszp Games, real successful. Well done. Congratulations. Sorrento delivering.
Yep.
Cool.
Well done.
What else, boss? What else?
Like I said, I'm not really over much else apart from some of the big ones. So if you can help me out, gentlemen.
Okay.
If you've got anything you want to whiz across the desk.
I do want to whiz one thing across the desk. There's a bit of match racing going on, and the Youth World Match Racing Champs have been run and won, which is important. The final, I will say, just for punters, the final event in the World Match Racing Tour is on right now. There's a few days deep into it, but the Youth Match Racing Worlds, quite a few of our US listeners started sending us messages because the US team were doing quite well into the semis. We had 2 Australian teams made the semis and a French team. It has all played out now, so congratulations to France, led by Ange Deleche, taking out the team led by Cole Tapper. So France first, Australia second, the US in third, and the other Australian team in fourth, and then the Kiwi team in fifth. So that Youth Match Racing Worlds is strong and done. I just wanted to mention that. Sailed at CICA, I think.
Yes.
The other thing that's going on right as we speak, and this is the debate I want to have, is we've got the World Youth Championships. Now, there's a bit of controversy here, and that's what I want to talk about, because we've had a couple of elements of controversy in the show, which is good. World Youth Championships are on in Brazil. We had the Waszp Games just on, so completely exact overlap, and of course the match racing. Where are the pros going to come from? Are they going to come? Do you reckon more pros will come out of the Waszp fleet, or more pros will come out of the future will come out of the World Youth Games? I'm interested because, and here for the listeners who don't know, Australia decided about a year or two ago, Australian Sailing, that we will no longer be sending teams to the World Youth Games. And we didn't.
That is a fantastic little point there, Jordan.
This is a good solid hour worth of discussion right here.
Well, maybe people could email in their views.
I think it's well worth it.
Cheers at barkarate.com. But
we could almost get a bit of a round table going on that one and give a bit of from both sides.
A few legendary coaches in the Australian scene that have been sort of popping up on my feed that are pretty pissed off
about not sending
people to the Youth Worlds for many reasons. One being learning how to interact with the internationals, learning how to go to these international events. There's a lot of things that are outside of just competing, because it's all good and well to sort of sit around and go to Australian events and then all of a sudden put yourself in a position to go to Europe, for example, or to South America for that matter, and get overawed by the whole thing. I think it's a great experience to go and be a part of international events.
Right.
But anyway,
I need to get. I can't comment, I don't think, because I'm not sure from a funding point, what the exact reasons are. If it's a funding thing,
I think I know why.
No, go on.
Well, I just think there's a lot of diverse fleets in Australia. This is and not all the fleets that are at the Youth Worlds are really well supported. So what the Australian Sailing's decided is, well, we'll just look at fleets where people are sailing well, and we'll give the funding to those teams, and we'll try and promote. We'll find more talent by going wider rather than just focus on those classes. I think that was their logic. That's what my understanding.
Which is, in all honesty, it's our logic as well.
Does make sense, but
I build the base. But not sending anyone to the Youth Worlds is interesting because we've got we've had a great record at the Youth Worlds, and it does tend to lead on to that record tends to continue on to Olympic results.
That's the path I'm talking about more, the Olympic sort of side of it. But anyway.
And then that leads on to, obviously, we're going through a transition phase in sailing. A lot of these kids are growing up sailing falling boats. None of those, there's no falling boats. Well, there's the kites and the windsurfers at the youth worlds, which do fall. But there's no falling boats at the Olympics. But all the pro scene is moving towards falling. You know, you want to do the biggest, it's Sail GP or the America's Cup. Currently, everything's foiling. I just wonder where my gut feel is more pros are going to come out of the Waszp fleet.
Yep, I'm hearing that. Or the simulator.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway,
simulator. Okay.
We'll throw it out there. For the
let's open that one up for discussion.
Yeah, if you want to add to any sort of anything to that, yeah. I do have a question I want to add in here for BP, if that's allowed. I'm just intrigued. Our Insta page, Barker.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're all linked together. I thought that was my Facebook page. I don't know.
There's a guitar for the punters.
I must be in charge of the. I don't know.
It is. I can't change it. I've been trying.
Oh, well, I'll change it back.
So the guitar.
I don't know how it all links together.
Guitar as
I've actually lost my Barker Insta.
That's my point. I don't even know how it got there. I changed my personal Instagram and it went to that.
Chat GPT did it for you.
Yeah, highly likely. Hey lads, just on a somber note before we go, we lost one of our own this week, Barry O'Toole, famous Sharpie sailor from Adelaide. Great man, always a laugh. Drummer in my grunge band, cannot be replaced. But very sad week for us, and I just wanted to mention that. Lots of fun with Tooley over the years. So there we go.
Wow.
No, here. Good shout out, BP. So to everyone that knew Tooley, and was fortunate enough to share the odd beverage with Tooley back in,
loved a laugh, old Tools.
Just only in recent times, as a matter of fact. So shout out to everyone that he was part of their lives for. So
cool.
Will be missed, Barry O'Toole.
All right. Well, on that note, thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you have a great week. I really appreciate your listening to us, and hope that you do find it fun, and tell your mates. We will start trying to bring a little bit of funny merch out for you that you can wear with pride. But of course, remember
that's especially when we talk about the rainbow.
Now.
And remember to jump onto Radix for all your nutrition needs. Just go to the website Radix Nutrition and type in Barkarati into the discount code, and you will get a discount on us. Have a great week, boys. Great to chat. This is a cracking episode, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely wonderful. We'll try and work out how Instagram links with Facebook.
I'm trying to log in. What's our Instagram name?
Don't know.
It's like I just carry you two on my back. It's so painful.
Yeah, how are your shoulders, mate? Yeah. Normally they're full of Teflon. Now they're just loaded up with us.
I've been at the osteo for the last 2 weeks.
Go on, turn it off.